mean, elephant in the room. I know JLo is really cringe. Pretty sure no one is a fan of her right now, but her makeup is always so good and has been for years. And honestly, she just really encompasses a Leo. So I happen to be a Leo rising. Normally I would just tell you the traits of whatever astrology sign we're talking about, but seeing as how I embody Leo traits, I'm gonna read this from a book so I don't sound like a Leo, so I don't sound self-centered. Leo is enthusiastic, powerful, expansive, and creative, generous and extravagant, dogmatic, and fixed in opinion. Leo is a sign that governs pleasure and creativity. Natives of Leo look for what they can get out of life for themselves and tend to dominate others. Leo people tend to be bombastic and challenging and often unknowingly provoke others into impulsive violence. Sweet. When I think of Leo, I think of like wanting to be the center of attention. I think that's kind of the most recognizable trait. So that's why I'm like JLo, like JLo. That being said, Leos are really fierce, really big hearts, really good friends. They're really passionate and really loyal. So it's not all bad. It's not all superficial. But anyway, let's get into JLo, shall we? For this look, I am copying a picture of a makeup done by Ash K. Holm. She's amazing, and it's very classic JLo, very glowy, bronzy, big lashes, big overline lips. I'm going to start with Melanie Mills. This is Peach Deluxe. Same thing, just want bronzy, glowy, so this is perfect. I do have some Makeup by Mario lip serum on, an Apricot Glow, quintessential JLo color. So you can use this on the body. Melanie Mills, the main thing I know about her is that she was a makeup artist on Dancing with the Stars, so I know that this also looks amazing on your body, on your legs. It kind of smells like Play-Doh. Not gonna lie, but it's really stunning. Also, I tried to match the earrings that she's wearing in the picture, and they're like these little amber earrings, and the only thing I have that's the same color are these. It says FU, and these are little middle fingers. Nice and family friendly. I do it for the kids. So I'm focusing on the high points of my face, but honestly, she likes to look pretty glowy all over. So I'm starting there and then I'm working my way in so it's not too overly glowy in my T-zone. So for the foundation, I'm going to use St. Minerals. This is a liquid foundation in 03. I do have a little bit of a tan from pool days here in Texas. It's just a little bit darker than what I normally wear, but it will blend in with my body just beautifully. So do we think JLo and Ben are still together? Okay, so Ben is also a Leo. I don't understand how that works. Like, he definitely seems like he does not want to be in the limelight, but there's got to be part of him that kind of likes it, question mark? I don't know. I'm really confused by their dynamic, especially round 2. It's all weird to me. But yeah, she just seems like she would be kind of the worst. I feel like there's always been so many stories circulating about her and how rude she is and being an awful tipper, but I think the worst story was that Ben Affleck was in Vegas gambling. I don't know how much money he won, but he wanted to tip the server like 10 grand, which these people are so rich that like 10 grand to them is probably like $10. And anyway, so can you imagine being a server, like a bartender at a casino and someone tips you 10 grand? I would be so grateful. And then apparently, allegedly, JLo came over and snatched it away. I don't know if that's true, but if that is, that's foul. Gonna take the booty blender and blend this in. If you've never watched any of my videos, I call it a booty blender because it's a bootleg beauty blender from Amazon. I'll have it linked below. Okay, what would a JLo look be without contour? So I'm going to use Danessa Myricks Contour Balm. This is shade medium 1. I've used this for my kit. That's why it looks all janky, is because I have taken a spatula and attacked it. So I'm gonna do the same so I can keep everything sanitary. So I'm just taking this Made by Mitchell brush and I'm just stamping in here, stamping into the color, making sure it's evenly dispersed before I go in on my face. I had someone comment on my last video, my Lana Del Rey video, saying that I kind of look and sound like Julia Fox.
Right.
Although I seem less crazy, which was a nice addition. Thank you. I like Julia Fox. I've been like psychoanalyzing myself ever since. Like, is that really what I sound like? Shoot. So I'm not going up super close into my hairline because I have a fresh bleach, and seeing as how I'm banging these days, I'm not gonna get too in there. I'm going in with a smaller brush now to contour around my mouth and my nose and then my eye area. So it's a little bit darker than the color that I normally use, but I'm a little tan, and JLo's not known for subtlety. Very Leo, so we're gonna go for it. I mean, mean, all this shit that I'm talking about J-Lo, but she does look really good. How old is she? She's like 55 or something? I guess I have no idea, but she's definitely in her 50s and she definitely looks amazing, so God bless for that. I can only hope I look that good when I'm her age. So now I'm gonna blend this out using my Chantecaille brush. Old habits die hard. I'm gonna go in with the St. Minerals concealer and go underneath my eyes and anywhere where I want anything to pop. Gonna have to get a new one soon. So for me, this is the hard thing about doing a really shimmery looking makeup is my pores look massive right now. So I personally am going to go in with a more matte concealer slash foundation. I know you guys have seen me use this a million times, but I love it. It's the Kevyn Aucoin foundation balm, and it's the perfect consistency, mixing it in with any sort of concealer that is really emollient. Also, I keep on looking at this reference picture over here. It's really highlighted in these areas, so the fact that this is just a touch lighter than my skin tone is even better. We're really nailing it, guys, if I do say so myself. It's Leo season, we gotta gas ourselves up. Gonna blend this out. For the cheeks, this is Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in Golden Hour. This is very pigmented. I love that she formulates these so they can look good on every skin tone. Obviously, this is very bold for my skin. I'm gonna use this on a Real Techniques brush. I'm just gonna load up my brush and then I'm gonna tap the excess off my palette. Her blush is kind of low. I look like a clown, so that's fun. I'm gonna go back in with this Made by Mitchell brush that I used for the contour, and I'm just going to stamp this. And because there's a little bit of color left on my brush, I think it'll tone it down just a little bit. All right, let's continue. I'm gonna go in with the Illuminating Veil by Danessa Myricks. This is in Serenity. It's that nice peachy bronzy shade. I'm gonna use the smallest one of this. I love this because it's water resistant and it is really, really shimmery. So I'm just gonna do a little bit on the high points of my cheeks. I mean, the nice thing about doing a J-Lo look is you don't have to be subtle. You don't have to hold back. If you're like, I think I maybe want more, it's like, no, you need more. Don't hold back, baby. Like, if someone at Whole Foods doesn't stop me and ask if I'm famous, like, fail. This will all be for nothing. Moving on to the brows. This is a brow soap by The Bar. One of my friends gave this to me. Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can get it open. Oh my God. We're getting there. Wow, sealed for my protection. I'm gonna take this on a St. Minerals brow brush. So this you have to get wet. So I'm gonna use my tried and true Danessa Myricks Dewy Forever Mist Setting Spray. Just gonna get the spoolie part of this brush wet. Bend it just a little bit so I can get in at the right angle that I want it to be. A weird consistency. I haven't used this in a while, so hopefully this goes well. Cool, it's crumbling off in my lap. I might get it just a little bit more wet. It's like a chunky consistency, which is kind of gross. Cool. I mean, I know J-Lo's brows are thick now, but I kind of loved when they were thin. But I think everybody wanted to look like J-Lo when she first came out, right? So now I'm gonna go in and fill in my brows. And I used this in my last video, but I'm still on it. It's the $1 Billion Brows Brow Pen in Taupe. Her eyebrows are pretty rounded and they're definitely thicker on the ends than mine are. So I'm gonna try to mimic that shape. Gonna go with my St. Minerals brow butters, as per always, on the same angle brush. Okay, so I am tweaking over my brows right now, trying to get the shape right. Her brush is kind of like stop. Like, I like mine to be more like gradual point, but God, even that's like not blunt enough. Her brows are really short too. This is a brush that I bought from Michael's years ago. I have no idea what it is. It is so super fine. So whenever I'm trying to do more detailed work, I will switch to this brush. I'm actually using my Dipbrow because I want these to be thicker, but I don't want them to be so dark. Her eyebrows actually aren't that dark. I mean, mine look dark because I'm so blonde right now. I think these are gonna be okay for now because I gotta move on, otherwise I will spend 2 hours just on my brows. It's slightly hard for me to tell in this picture what exactly her eyes look like. What I can see is very bronzy, so I'm gonna start with this. This is Danessa Myricks Nude 6 Color Fix. I'm gonna use that all over my lid. And because I did the contour balm in my crease earlier, this is going to help to add dimension as well. So I'm taking a Made by Mitchell brush. Any synthetic brush will be perfect for this. I'm just gonna do a wash all over my lid. I always like to do some underneath as well. Even though this picture, she isn't really wearing a lot underneath. Just blending this out. So I like to use synthetic to apply any cream products because the nature of the material, it's not going to be as absorbent as a natural hairbrush like this. So I like to apply with the synthetic, and then, I don't know, it depends on my mood, but I'm using a natural hairbrush to blend this out just to really soak up any excess product. I'm going to use MAC Costa Riche. This is a beautiful warm tone brown eyeliner. I love using it on everybody, but especially if you have like a lighter color eye, like especially like any green tones, it really makes your eye color pop. So I'm going to use this not neatly. I'm going to do this on my lash line, and then I'm going to go into my crease to create more dimension. Oh. I like to do this when my base is still a little bit wet. It makes it easier to blend out, but I've seen some people use this pencil method after powdering your lids. It doesn't matter, it's just whatever works best for you. And this is a kohl pencil, so it's not waterproof, so it doesn't set very quickly. When I want this to look really diffused and really smoky, this is perfect. Although I do love waterproof eyeliners. If I'm doing this kind of pencil work underneath my shadow, I prefer kohl because I think it's a little bit easier to blend out. And this is just the same brush that I use to blend out the color fix. I can pretty much never put eyeliner underneath the eye, like perfectly. So I always have to rely on a pencil brush. This is my Kitco, my mini smudge. Again, I can't really tell what she's wearing, but in other pictures, she definitely likes to use something lighter on the inner part of her eye. This is from Chantecaille. It's actually a brow product, but this is a little bit dark for my skin tone, so I like to use it in the waterline to give me an open eye look. Okay, so that's a good base for the eyes. Now I'm gonna go in with powder and set everything. So her eyes are really warm toned, so I'm gonna use the Danessa Myricks Evolution Setting Powder in 03. And I feel like she's wearing a light color on her eyelid. This is Viseart Neutral Matte. Obviously, I've used it a lot, so I love it. Just taking a flat brush. I'm gonna go in with this color right here. And I think that's kind of it. So that's all I can tell. She's wearing pretty thick lashes, so I'm going to keep the eyeshadow pretty minimal. Well, speaking of problematic, I've been back on my Temu kick, and I got these lashes. So I'm gonna use these. Like I said, JLo's problematic, Temu's problematic. We're just going with the theme, okay? So I'll absolutely be cutting the length of these because these are gonna be far too long for my eyes. The bands on these aren't too thick, actually. Usually if they are, I will wrap them around my finger just to make them a little more flexible. Let's just test these out and see how they look. I haven't used these ones yet. Oh Lord, these are long. It's JLo. It's JLo, sweetie. I'm kidding, I doubt she calls anyone sweetie, unless it's like super passive aggressive. I'm taking my scissors, and I'm gonna cut this lengthwise, and whenever you're cutting your lashes, you always wanna make sure to cut them from the longer end and go in, because if you cut them right here, it's just gonna be a really abrupt start, and it's going to look a little bit, just think it doesn't look very natural. So, but if you like that look, I love that for you. Okay, so I cut off 2, so we'll see how this looks. All right, perfect, it looks like a lot. I lied, these are a little bit stiffer than I thought they were, so I'm gonna wrap this around my finger. You can also go ahead and like bend them in like a U shape, that also helps as well. So I'm taking my Duo lash glue, this is in black, just putting it along the lash line, or the band, my bad. I just got some lash glue in my eye. My eyes are just too small for this, but it's okay. This is what happens when you buy plastic lashes. I am going to set everything with powder. So I'm going to do what I always do, go in with the beauty blender to make sure that everything is in place. because if I have any creasing, I don't want to set that with powder. I don't want to set that and make it last. These lashes though. I'm gonna go with my By Terry Hyarolaunic Hydro Powder. I love this stuff. It's really great for mature skin. It actually keeps everything looking really dewy. So I'm going to do a light dusting of that all over. Actually so dangerous for me to wear a black shirt because there could be powder everywhere. I feel like I'll wear black often when I'm filming reels, and then I'll look at it later and I'm like, I have hair and powder and all this stuff and it looks totally fine in person, but then on camera I'm like, I look like a slob. Hopefully it's not giving slob. Hopefully she's giving, you know, thrice divorced. No, how many times has she been divorced? Whatever. I'm just talking shit. But let's be honest, if someone was like, hey, do you want to do JLo's makeup? I'd be like, fuck yeah. Are you kidding? Hashtag blessed. Hashtag opportunity of a lifetime. See, isn't that just so pretty? It's just luminous, but everything is set. I love it. So for baking, I am going to go in with Makeup Forever. It's the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Setting Powder. Gotta give them love taps. Taking a puff, 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 pass. I'm gonna dab this in here, and then I'm going to bake, because you know that, you know JLo bakes, okay? So I'm gonna let this sit a little bit longer. I'm gonna go back in with the Danessa Myricks Evolution Powder, and I'm going to reinforce the contour and bronzed areas, because looking at this picture, her forehead is way darker than mine. Again, I'm not gonna go up to my hairline though, because no one's even gonna see this. Oh my gosh, actually, Temu again, but look at this brush. It's like meant for nose contour. Let's give it a go. For blush, this isn't out yet, but this is from St. Minerals. It's very NARS Orgasm. It's got the shimmer in it, beautiful peachy color. I'm obsessed. I'm gonna use a little bit on an angled blush brush. I feel like her blush isn't even as intense as I have it, but it's okay. For the highlighter, this is Laura Mercier Indiscretion. I use this on a My Kit Co. My Soft Powder brush. I hit the high point. She definitely has some right here on her forehead. I have another one of these contour brushes, doing this on the bridge of my nose. Okay, actually fire. This is like perfect. Oh, okay. Okay, Temu, I see you. I'm gonna go in with the St. Minerals Pressed Foundation Powder in 01, like I always do. This is gonna help to lighten up this area and set it into place. And I like it like after my baking has been sitting a little bit, because it just kind of brings everything back to life. Okay, like I said, she's really bright in through here. So this is from Senna. It's an anti-aging highlighter. It's Eye Lift 01. Kind of like this yellowy color. So I'm going to take the same My Kit Co brush and really, whoa, focus in here. Now I'm using it everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna put mascara on. I'm gonna use this. I recently purchased it. It's from Essence, Lash Princess. It's fine. It smudges on me kind of badly, but when I have lashes on, I don't really care because it's not actually touching my lid. But I like to use mascara just to blend everything together, and I feel like it makes it look a little bit more natural. As natural as these little plastic lashes can look, I guess. My finishing touches, I need to bring these brows in just a little bit more. So I'm going in with my dip brow and this brush. All right, I think this looks pretty good. We gotta do the lips now. So I still have a little bit of the Makeup by Mario Apricot Glow on. I'm gonna go back in with this just as a base. I know this is really bright. Just gonna take this on a lip brush. I'm just gonna dab it everywhere. I literally think that's gonna last me forever. I barely use any product and it's so bright. Okay, for lip liner, I'm using MAC Subculture. I mean, JLo is like the queen of overdrawing her lips. If you look at the old pictures of her when she was working really heavily with Scott Barnes, I mean, it's like brown around her lips, but she can rock it. And I mean, honestly, same. Okay, for the overlining, I know I did a little bit with the last liner, but we're really gonna get some dimension in here, and this is Melt Foxy. I'm sure you guys are so annoyed that I keep on using this mystery palette with these lipsticks that I depotted and don't remember anything about, but I'm gonna use it again. Any nude lipstick will do. I have to go in with some gloss now. This is from MAC. It's a cream sheen gloss in Boy Bait. It's like the perfect JLo nude. So I'm kind of keeping that in the center of my lips. I'm not going directly out to the lip line because I want to keep that a little bit more solid. I feel like her makeup artists don't really blend it out too much. Okay, now looking at the picture, I feel like my blush is a little aggressive. I'm gonna take this kabuki brush from St. Minerals. This has been used recently, obviously, but it's okay. This is a safe space, right? So I'm gonna go back in with the foundation powder and just try to tone this down slightly. I mean, I really like it. I have blush blindness. I don't care. But if we're trying to go for the fantasy, we gotta rein it in a little bit. Okay, that's better. JLo. Leo season. So all I'm gonna put in the description is olive oil for the skin prep. I'm just kidding. Like, no one believes that. Also, no one believes that you haven't had any work done either, JLo. Sorry about it. Yeah, happy Leo season. I feel like whenever I think of Leos, I always think of like big hair, being in the spotlight. So if you feel like taking some selfies and outshining your friends, bring it on, Leo season. Bring it on. Get out there and shine, baby, like you're supposed to. Until next time.